There you go. Now you got two very audible claps. Stop clapping.
Yeah. There we go. We stopped clapping.
Nailed it.
We're good.
We were just talking for 2 minutes. Like I think people were doing for like half an hour beforehand, but we were just talking for 2 minutes about like the how inconsistent we are. but we're getting there. It's only how long we doing now?
It seems to be a very common thing. But every time we get on it, like, man, we plan on doing things, but we just don't do it.
Well, we're trying to just, yeah.
Mind you, the last couple of days is probably the most content we've done together in a long time. So I'm excited for what's to come. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. We've actually, what was it? It must have been about a week, because we didn't speak for a little while, because we had a load of things going on. You had like all your work and stuff, and I just was lazy. So we were trying to like figure out how to work that together. But yeah, we literally, I think that's probably the most fun I've had in recording content in a good while. Nothing against Flaps or anything, but like,
no, it's all against Flaps.
All against Flaps. Like, holy shit, 100%. That dude needs to
chill out. He needs to relax for a minute.
He needs to chill out.
He needs to chill out.
Life that he needs to yeah, it's been really fun, because like, it's the hardest thing between me and you, and obviously everyone knows this, is the bloody time difference. People still think I'm in Australia though. I'd love to be in Australia. Like, let's shut the fuck up about that. But I would love to be in Australia, you know? The time difference is mental. So me and you, about a week ago, we just kind of went, hey boys, like, well, hey mate, let's just get some shit together, because we just haven't been doing anything in ages. Like, we haven't been doing the podcast.
Well, I'm pretty sure I messaged you, because I was going through like a phase, like a couple of day phase where I was like demotivated as hell. Like, I felt deflated as shit. And I remember calling you, and you would talk about it, and I said, you know what, let's, and you agreed as well, like let's start doing content again, let's start getting back into the rhythm.
Let's actually get shit going again, because like because we used to feed off each other a lot, that was like the whole thing of setting up this podcast. Was like, you know what, when I come back in August 2020, we'll crack on the podcast super sick, and make it a weekly thing, because then the time zones won't be in effect, and that went to absolute raw shit. Here we are. We're still trying, and I reckon once I actually come back over and we're like obviously there, we can set up a routine for it. But that was the one thing I think we both like kind of came to, is like, we both want to create, and we both will do well creating, but we need to get back and get into a routine of it. But it's so bloody hard.
Actually creating.
We have like a 4 to 5 hour time slot that we can work with, because it's like 9:30 in the morning now for me. So my maths is shit, but it's got to be at least like 6:30 p.m. for you. Yeah, 6:30 p.m. for you.
Yeah.
So then, like, 5 hours time, you're going to bed. We did. Yeah, we've been content creating the last few days. It's been really fun. It's been really good.
I've been set up late due to the weekend and stuff, but it's been really fun. I mean, I posted on Twitter a kind of an example of how we schedule, in order for us to do content together, we schedule our lives around us doing content together, and it's pretty accurate. Where it's almost as if, you get up and we have to record, and then I'll go to bed, and then while I'm sleeping, you'll edit, and then I'll get up, and then you'll sleep, and then I'll edit. And then when I go to bed, you upload, and then I'll sleep, and then when I get up, I upload.
That's literally it. Like,
it's just...
You put a tweet out about it the other day. I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's like, you do this, and I'll do this, and you do that, and I'll do that.
Yeah, that's just how our life is.
While you're sleeping, I'm going to farm up, and then when you jump on, we'll record, and then, like, away we go, crack on it. But it's mad to think that, like, we do try, and like, well, it's not mad, it's just like, we are trying to make things happen, because the biggest part of like content creation is like creating with others, and using other people to vibe off. Like, that's, it's fun doing things solo sometimes, but when you have other people who are like in similar interests, it's like, that's the best. That's what I always want. I always say to my mates, like, if you're in the best, like if you're my mate, it's because you bring something to my life, as opposed to like taking something away. Like, for you bring a fuck ton to what I look for in people, and there are people that do the same for you, and whatever. But yeah, I don't do all that toxic stuff. I like to have good people around. I like to try and film a circle with positive people, adventurous people, Yeah, it's good. It's decent.
It's good. I mean, I been hiatus from the content game for a while. I looked at my YouTube channel. It's been a bit grim. But it's
can
been.
we talk about the tactic?
If you want to. Yeah, well, I mean, we can if you like.
Because genuinely, I think it's a really good thing. And I don't think anyone would judge you on it, because I don't judge you on it, because I know that it's a reality that, we should be doing. So, should we just say exactly what it was?
Okay, so I'll explain it. So, Oblivion came to me with an idea as to, because I want to come back into making content, and it's been so long since I made content that
6 months, obviously, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was massive, like a long time. There's a lot of videos on my channel that I uploaded like over 2 years ago that not many people would have even bothered to watch, or because they were like very, very low viewership. And we came up with the idea that with me coming back to content creation, that we should just test out whether we re-upload an old video, just to see how it went, as a test to see if my new audience now, since my YouTube channel's got a lot bigger, if my new audience now would still like that type of content, or they're liking the content that I'm making now. Which is, so we decided to pick one of the ones I thought that would do probably decently. That I thought the content behind it. I mean, it was one of my first few videos, so it wasn't like obviously the greatest edited one, but I felt like the content was fun. I felt like it would be good just to have a laugh and watch it. So
it was a really good video. Yeah, it was a solid video. It should have banged, and that's kind of why we were like, because the thing was like, I looked at your stuff and I was like, your videos need to bang. Like, they've got so much good content on it. Like, let's just re-upload. Like, I think I literally said, let's just re-upload it. Not many people have seen it, and let's try the algorithm. Because people will be looking at the videos from like 2 years ago, and it doesn't matter if they're 2 years ago. Like, you'll watch a film that was like 5 years old, 10 years old, and it's still a good film. But it didn't get the traction, And we also realized that for some reason, all of your tags to get into the algorithm weren't even there.
We're removed. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we went back into re-uploading that old video, because that video also wasn't monetized. So because it was one of my first videos before I got monetization on YouTube, it obviously didn't have monetization on it. So now I'm able to have it. So re-uploading it, I was able to monetize it, which was interesting. But we realized when we were adding tags to the video and re-uploading the old video, that none of my videos had tags.
None at all.
If anyone personally knew anything that I did, I mean, I used to be Komomo's YouTube editor, and I used to be heavily, and also do my own YouTube stuff. So I was heavily into doing the tags. The tags, obviously, to try and get people to see it, and ways that other people could see it based on keywords.
And you used to roast me on that, like you'd be like, because my game used to come up as like Oblivion that I was playing, and people were like, oh look, Oblivion's playing Oblivion when really it's Raz. And you're like, do you never do this? And no, I never do that. And you were like super on it, like always on it. Yeah. So to see you with no tags or anything was just kind of like in the nude, mate. You've been caught red-handed.
Yeah, it was. I honestly think they removed it off every single. They removed it from every single video. So I don't know what happened, because I used to copy them from my old videos. So I would never retype them out after each one. I would just copy them from my previous ones. But when we went to upload again, we noticed that I couldn't. My previous video before this one didn't have it, and then we went back through a multiple of different ones, and none of them had tags.
Robbed.
It was just completely robbed. That someone had just taken all my tags. So
I wonder if YouTube have a thing where they take away tags, like if videos either didn't make a certain amount of views or didn't get much traction, so then it would pop out the algorithms that other videos would pop up.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's a thing. I don't know if that's a thing. I've no idea. I should go back and check my old ones, but
it could have been, bro. It could have been.
But I think it's a solid idea, and it was funny because obviously if anyone reads BigGee's latest video and like sees the comments like, I had to upload it for copyright issues. We only did that purely because we know people are going to be knobheads and be like, oh, it's a re-upload. It is a re-upload, but at the same time, it deserves 100,000 views. It's a great video. You put a lot of time and effort into it. I was there when you were recording it. I wasn't obviously like in there at all. I was doing my own thing, probably sleeping and whatever. And I was always kind of like it deserved more. Like your videos deserve more. So doing this video, might actually be super interesting.
That video was probably one of my longest videos to make as well, due to the fact it was such a complex base design, where we turned external So obviously everyone knows the external TCs, people build them around their bases, so people don't build near them and all that kind of stuff. But we decided to turn 6 external TCs into turrets and disguise them as external TCs and try and get ourselves raided in the process of then wiping out the entire clan that's trying to raid us with external TCs, which was a lot of fun. It did get raided multiple times. And it took me, I think, almost 3 weeks and 4 times rebuilding it. I mean, if anyone's tried to redo electronics on 6 different triangle foundations, it takes a long time and a lot of understanding of how electricity works and stuff like that in the game. So yeah, it was one of my complex ones. And to re-upload it and see it do so well, it's now
go and watch it. Go and watch it. Like
go and watch it.
Leave it in the link. Leave it in the description to go and watch it. It's a great.
It's now my second highest Rust video of all time. So. It's crazy.
We were discussing previously just before the thing started off. You said you saw people have been posting. I say like about a couple of questions, which is quite nice actually. To be fair, we do get questions on the podcast sometimes, which is quite cool.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
We could talk a little bit about the ones that we've seen. I kind of want to see like ones from back in the day as well. But there was the one you were talking about earlier. Where was that one?
That was on episode 11. So Told Town said he said, "So glad you guys are back. We can get the episode. Can we get an episode where Oblivion and G discuss Ham Simulator and how it affected Oblivion?" That's to cut deep, that one, bro. It's a flesh wound. And also a similar game that affected G. I'm super curious about how that all played out. It's an interesting. It is a great idea, and I liked it, and I thought it was a great idea, and I was going to bring it up to you. I literally raised it to you 5 seconds before we went live.
Yeah, like literally that. Like, oh, what a random occurrence! Hey, look at a question. I do like the thing you started off glad you're back, and then 45 days later we've recorded the next one. It only takes an hour of our time to record it, but we have to get it in that little 4 or 5 hour space.
Yeah.
How would you think if someone said so? You being a close mate, if someone said, how did Hand Simulator affect Oblivion, what would you say?
No, knowing you and I think it was, for exposure, it was one of the best things I think that could have happened to you.
It was quality, wasn't it?
I think Ham Simulator was one of the greatest things that could have happened to you, and I think the success of Ham Simulator really...
Owe it to me. All Vamus on that, owe it to me.
I genuinely believe that it really brought out your funny side, and it really brought out your humor in any game, which I think any creator would really want to know if they were to expand to another game, whether people would watch, and I think we've spoken about this before, and I've said this to you. I said, Hand Simulator was probably the biggest indicator to me and anyone who really knew you. Was that video was probably one of the only videos you ever seen you with face cam as well.
Yeah, not many have it. There was kind of like a thing where I went for like an indie phase or something like variety gaming phase, where it was fun to try, because I, for a while, was like kind of like, you know what, I genuinely think I'm funny. And that's not a bad thing to think. You've got, obviously, comedians have to think they're funny. You got to back yourself in what you do. So I'm like, you know what, I think I'm genuinely funny that I could just make solo videos based on these random Eastern Europeans that turn up in Hand Simulator and, and just roast the fuck out of them. But like, it was good because it gave you that like variety and that like feel. Because if you look at through most of our videos or any of our videos, most of our videos are surrounding gameplay minorly, social and interactions majorly.
Yeah.
Like that was a big thing about it. It was exposure wise, it was pretty mad. It was kind of like I got away from Rust for a bit because I was kind of like hating of the game, which was fair enough back then. And then to try that was good. But me and you actually made like a Hand Simulator one, but it was like a variety. It was like a different variation of their game. Do you remember that? It was like it was like Shite Raft or something.
Oh yeah.
Where fuckers would just die and we wouldn't even know why.
That was
what was it
Survival Simulator. I
Was
swear it was like somewhere along the lines of Survival Simulator that we did. Where we would beating people with rocks. It was like Rust Survival. It was almost like Hand Simulator but Rust. And we tried that out. Didn't have the same success, but it was still a lot of fun.
Though. That was funny. It was good because those kind of games is like they're the best for me, like creative games and sandbox kind of games. That's why Rust has always been really quite fun.
Yeah.
Because it's we get to interact and do a load of things. Anything that has voice communication in there is funny.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we get to do a lot with it, but you know, it's kind of like why you don't see us play games like
Call of
I guess,
Duty.
like like Call of Duty, because there's not really anything in there. You gotta kill someone, and you get a slight snippet of them saying something, which is kind of ha funny, you know. Whereas like the games we play, we can really talk to people and stuff, you know. And we found that like with yesterday and like over the last couple of days, we've interacted with people and stuff has been really good.
Yeah.
You know, and it embraces the game more. Like it creates more to it, and it's fun. Like that's
like we always said, and this is why I think you did so well in Hand Simulator, was the fact that when it comes to videos, we're not chads. You know, we're not hardcore.
Do we?
We're not hardcore gamers, man. We just want people to have a laugh, see our side to Rust. You know, it's not just, you don't have to have this Chad. You know, I see a lot of people in the comments whenever we try and defend a trap base something, you guys can't shoot at AK and blah, blah, blah. It's like, these videos aren't for accuracy, man. We're not here to, you know, beam some dude from 100 meters away. Like, it's fun.
Is that even, like, fun to watch, though? Like, someone's beaming someone. It's not even fun to watch. Like, I don't... Like, if someone were to send me an Instagram image of them with, like, a really good spray pattern on UKN, I'd probably just vomit. I just wouldn't give a fuck. I just don't care. You know? That's specifically targeted at someone, by the way. They'll know. They'll know. They'll know. But yeah, I just... Like, it doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck if your spray pattern's like 98%. I don't give a fuck. Like, no, I've got more things I want to do. Like, my videos... I don't give a fuck worthy. It's probably why they make views, because the people are just kind of like, well, this man didn't give a fuck, neither should I. You know,
exactly.
That was a big part. That's one of my biggest secrets when I started changing up my content, was to remove that negativity side and that kind of like, not like alpha Chad side, but that person who wants to be, you know, the winner all the time. It's okay to be a funny loser. You know, it's better to be that. I feel like, you know, you can see people win and it's fun, it's good, you know, in hard situations, but sometimes it's good to be the funny loser, because then you kind of like you're more real in the moment. You know? And it's way more enjoyable, because I think a lot of people who come to watch the videos just want to get away from shit, and then they come and see you just trying to like chat out, and they're like, oh, I can't be asked with this. Like, it stresses them out. I don't want to stress people out. I want to watch my video, see some bloke getting shafted, and then, you know, leave having a good time. That's basically it. You know? But we do that. Like, me and you, we just have a laugh. Like, even when we're not recording or anything, we're just like chatting shit or whatever. You know, we have our games we go to when we do want to be chads and whatever, but you know, most of the time we just kind of like, I don't care, you know, I want to do fun shit.
When it comes to recording, bro, if you like, I feel like those who take the game, like take any game really seriously, I mean, there's only so much content you can give, right? I feel like you'll get to a point where you become so good at a game, everyone already knows. And if you don't live up to that expectation of just being an absolute Chad, then I do feel like, you know, people will start going, oh, this wasn't as good as your last video where you beamed an extra person down in, you know, in a couple of seconds or whatever. But with us, it's like we do different trap bases. We have different interactions. We do, you know, conversations with each other, with other people, and we just give each other banner. And I think that's, you know, as much as people say, oh, it's just a funny video, but there's always something different in our videos. I feel there's always something different. I mean, people will see thousands of loot, you know, rockets and that, a whole box of rockets. You see that on hundreds of videos. Like, it's the same stuff over and over again. And like, we don't really care for loot. Like, we're not doing the videos for loot. You know, people are like, oh, you're stealing from people.
Back.
Oh, we give it back. Yeah, we don't care.
We've sometimes, not all the time, but, you know, sometimes we give it back. We're just like, you know what? That was really funny. Like, you gave me a really memorable moment in this game. Have your shit back. And then we shoot them usually. But, you know, we normally get back. But, Mike, let's be honest. Like, if there are two situations, and we both know the obvious answer. If you sprayed down 5 people with an AK whilst defending your trap base, and then realised you didn't get that footage, you would not hate that if you missed one very funny moment in your video. You know, one very funny social interaction. That's the one thing I always was thankful for, was when I did the funniest, what was it? The funniest Rust raid ever. There was this Australian guy that I met in there. And he was so fucking funny. If I wasn't recording at that point, you know, that would have, I don't know if that would have popped off the channel. I still think I would have done and made video creation, you know, but I think with him, that was very much the one moment I was just kind of like, this is my route of what I want to do, you know? And if I'd have missed that, I don't know whether I would have made it in YouTube, possibly, because that was one of my big pop-off videos that came from it.
I always think in any video, interactions in games is by far the funniest and probably the most rewarding thing with content creation, in my opinion. I think, being able to, give that laugh to the person watching, I think that is, it's always...
That's the key, isn't it?
It's always funny. And watching people laugh and like... I think, and when I re-uploaded that video, I see one of the comments saying like, "Oh, your aim's trash" or whatever. And it's like, it's funny that the idea of the video was never to beam someone down. The idea of the video was to make something complex that people hadn't seen before, such as the external TCs, and get a whole bunch of loot. And people use the excuses, "Oh, you make trap bases because you can't get loot in the outside." We don't even want the loot.
That's a fact. That's my thing. Yeah. If I want an AK, here's a shotgun trap base, mate. Give me my doorway defender.
Mate, you think I want to sit there for 4 hours and put 6 turrets down and wire up all the electricity for what? 3 AKs? Jesus. Bloody hell.
Because obviously, like, we're both of, I'm going to say of the age, but we are obviously of that time where we didn't have the online kind of like experience with social sites. What was those games? Was that World of Warcraft for you? Was that yours? Like, what was kind of your early like stage of gaming? Like, mine was RuneScape.
Yeah. RuneScape was one. Was one, but that was after WoW. I played WoW when I was like World of Warcraft when I was like 10 years old. A guy that I still play WoW with, like one of my good friends, my mate Caesar. I've been playing WoW with him since we were like 9-10 years old. And we still play WoW on the regular here and there. And it's a game that I always love, I think because I grew up with it. But then I obviously grew out of it a little bit growing up and went into RuneScape a little bit because a lot of my friends were in RuneScape at the time. But I've always loved that kind of survival game, the character customizations, the leveling up, the different
building.
Different areas that you could go, archery, magic, all that kind of stuff. I always loved that kind of style of game. That's just what I love. And I think that's why I fell in love with survival games, and I said, we talked about hand sim and what it did for you. And survival games for me and Twitch was one of my biggest successes, I used to love interacting with people in survival games. It was the funniest shit.
That's amazing. It's fun. I still think Hand Simulator is hilarious for it all. I was thinking about this the other day. I want to run this by you, but do you think I was thinking about, because I was going to make a video the other day as to like the Rust console, etc., why it was bad and shit. And you know what? I was kind of like, they kind of like brought a thing out to me where I kind of went, I was like, what is making games harder to enjoy nowadays? What's either ruining games or making games harder? And I'm not trying to like pull this down a negative route, but I was thinking, if you're I can't play RuneScape anymore because I used to love playing that game back in the day. But when I played it back in the day, there was never any guides, there was never any tips and tricks, there was never XP guides or whatever. But nowadays, I feel like because obviously YouTube's available and it's a big resource and platform, and I think that comes out in comments whenever you see it in your videos and on live streams of people saying like, "Oh, you should do this, this, and this. You should build this." Do you reckon that's because everyone's got like an open source of complete perfect knowledge that they can't do anything worse? Like, everyone has to be the meta, You can't jump in League of Legends without looking at a MOBA fire tutorial, Do you think like those tutorials have ruined games in a way? Like,
100%. I think one of the biggest things for me, playing those kind of games was the experience of playing those kind of games. Do you know what I mean? Like actually playing the games,
learning it,
figuring it out for yourselves, talking to your mates as to, I went here and I was able to kill in RuneScape an extra couple of goblins to drop an extra couple of stuff. Like, it's, you never had, for us 17 years ago, for me, when I played, I'm 27. So 17 years ago for me, when I was about 10 years old, YouTube wasn't, it was around, but not as accessible as it is now.
Yeah.
So like tutorials for like RuneScape and WoW, and, you Google that shit now and you'll have an entire, like 100 pages of different ways to do whatever you need. Back then there would have been like 2, and they were badly edited, and there was probably everyone already probably knew about it anyway because everyone had already been playing the game. So it was never a go-to thing to find that part of the game. It was just like you just play the game and you'd learn. And that's what I really loved about it. You know, I think now any game that comes out, I think a lot of people these days would be like, a new survival game comes out, best way to get XP. Boom, straight away.
Literally that, you know.
Don't even bother to like fucking play the game for 2-3 hours. It's like, how fast can I get to end game? It's like a speed run now. You know what I mean? Everyone's fucking speed running everything. You know, it's
literally
like...
Literally that.
It's just a fucking speed run when it comes to survival games. Yeah, and I don't know... And it's a speed run for creators as well to make that content, I feel as well. Because they're like, oh, if I make it, people are going to watch it. So they speed run it in the deliberate way of trying to make content out of it for other people to watch that content, and it kind of hinders on the fact why they made the content in the first place. So it's going to be a constant loop, I feel now.
We live in a world of opportunists, and it's difficult because there's money involved. You know, let's be honest. Like when the cars came out into Rust, me and I said to like Flaps, I said, as soon as it comes out, we are making this mechanic shop. You know, we are bashing that out before anyone else does. We're smashing it out. You know, don't care how long it was. I stayed up till 5 a.m, like editing that whole video to get it all done. You know, but like I think that's literally at the end of the day, because obviously YouTube's going to be there. It's going to be like, you know, people are either in it for the money, you know, which is normally like well-sustained YouTubers. Let's say, for example, Ali A, update comes to Fortnite, boom, smashes it. You know, there's my money. Whereas other people are like, I want to make it in the game. Update comes in, boom, here's my update. Everyone come to me so I can start becoming Ali A. You know?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's an opportunist. And I think that's fine. I just think that there's going to be no, like, it's almost like too perfect, you know, to play games nowadays. Like, I think a big part of Rust, and I kind of compare it to Mordhau, is like, I still believe there should be a tutorial in Rust, but a very basic one, you know? And I think if anyone wants to play Rust and actually enjoy it, is to, whenever you see like a video where it's kind of like, how to build the perfect base, how to do this, 97 rocket rate, fuck them off, you know, just get rid of them, because every base is the same nowadays. Everything's got Peekdowns, double walls, all this shit. It's like, ugh. You know, I want to play the game to play the game. You know, I feel like that was the thing.
It's funny because this happened we were recording and a group of people come up to us and were going to give us their base, which is funny because
they did give us the base in the end as well.
They did give us the base in the end. Not that we ever asked for it, but they gave us the base. And one of the things that they mentioned while they were giving us the base is that it had all these peak downs, and you know, if we wanted to use these peak downs and you know, ways that you know you could counter raids and stuff. And we said to each other, it's like, we're never going to use that. Like we never like
I like that they have the knowledge.
Yeah, but like for us as players and content creators, we will never use peak downs. I don't think I'll ever create a base to the point of me being a Chad. Like I'm okay with being an average player. Like that is okay to me. You know, I'll get better at it with a gun or whatever, but I'm not going to go to the point where I'm building 6x6 fucking towers and trying to rocket my neighbor from my roof. Mad. Like it just doesn't. It's not gonna happen.
I think it's creative as shit. I think it's good. I think it's really good. But I always kind of think, I always like keep that to yourself in a way. Like when we make our trap-based videos, we don't usually give away how we do it. You know, we don't usually tend to do that, which I think is fine. And but the only other thing is like I know other people will upload it. People will upload traps I've done to be like trying to make money out of it, which I don't mind. You're an opportunist. Like I'm not going to shoot you down for it. Yeah. You know, but it is that thing. I just kind of, I'm always there kind of like, can I enjoy a game again because of the randomness of it? Like when I was playing RuneScape back in the day, I was loving it because I was kind of like, there was that whole like, I don't know how to do this and I want to learn how to do this. You know, I'm going to try and find a way. Whereas like nowadays it's like, oh, you want to do this, how to do the, I don't know, the imp guide in like 4 minutes. And you're like, you know, it's almost kind of like, you can't play the game because you're almost on a train track that you want to jump off to go and do your own thing in the forest.
Yeah.
You know, because there's too many perfect guides for it. Like when I stream and I see people being like, oh, you should do this one, or you should learn how to do this, or you should learn how to do that. I'm like, but then you're going to numb a game down for me where I can't lose to the meta. You know, like whenever I play League of Legends, I thoroughly enjoy League of Legends because I don't genuinely know what the fuck I'm doing all the time. Yeah. You know, I play the same champion because I love playing that champion, whether it's in meta or out of meta, and I'll do the same thing every time, and that's why I lose. But I'm having a great time doing it, you know? And I think that's kind of like the thing, like, because I don't follow those metas and stuff, I can enjoy it more. Yeah. You know? Like, I go in the games and people are like, oh, you've got a 46% win rate on this champion. I'm like, why do you know more about that than I do? Like, why do you give a fuck?
One of the biggest things in World of Warcraft, bro, meta is like the craziest thing, right, in World of Warcraft. Because like,
I bet it is.
When before the game even comes out, everyone like Burning Crusade, the next step up from the classic WoW experience that just launched last year. They brought out the expansion, so they've brought out the second expansion of World of Warcraft now, for people to relive and have that nostalgia of like going back and playing it. In retail WoW, I play a druid. Now in the new Burning Crusade, druids aren't exactly the greatest. They're not like that good. And I was like, I'm gonna play a druid. And my mate's like, no, dude, they're shit. Why would you want to play that? And it's like, nah. And I was like, I want to play a druid. So I played a druid, and I love it. And my mates now have been like, oh, you know, rogues are the best. And then they get halfway through and now rogues are shit. And they're the type of people that would make 4 or 5 different characters and not really enjoy the experience of like...
Yeah, they play to win.
Playing the game. Yeah, they play to win.
It's a hard thing playing to win. Playing to win's fun, but like when you're trying to play competitive, like you play to win. I play to win on like CS:GO. You know, like that was fun because that's literally how you play it.
Yeah, it's got to be that way. Otherwise, no one likes losing games. Like it's just shit. It's like Apex Legends, you know. I enjoy playing Apex. I think Apex is good fun. But I would hate it if I just lost it, like got killed in the first couple of seconds every game. It would just annoy me. So.
I saw a good comment the other day, which I use in League of Legends, like because people get genuinely angry in that. Like yesterday I played and there was this person playing like Camille, and she was just like pinging everyone, just being like, "What are you doing? Where are you in the team fights? Blah blah." Like getting genuinely angry, and I said to her, I was like, "You're not that good enough to be angry." Like, there's no reason for you to get pissed off. You're playing with a load of people. There's a bloke in our team called Cannabis 420. You know, we're just playing casually. He's probably off his tits. There's probably someone dealing with a baby. Like,
just like AFK and base.
Casual players. Like, no one sat there with fucking blue screen glasses on, G Fuel, tank tops, you know. I'm just there like bollocks out, music on. I don't give a fuck. If my friend's died, I don't even know about it until he runs past me back in lane. Like I don't know what's genuinely going on.
That's funny. I agree to that. I think I used to play League of Legends heavily. I haven't played League enough to even get out of like fucking silver or bronze rank. So I still play that, and that elo is like hell elo. Like that is the most toxic place on the planet for any game is like the bronze ranks. Because it's people who think they're better than everyone but can't get out of it. It's because they're like, it's like, you know, if you were good, you wouldn't be here. And they just can't face that fact. Tricks. So they just abuse everyone. And then what happens is they lose their accounts for just bad-mouthing everyone. Then they have to make another account and then try and come back. And then they finally go back into playing games again and have to start off in bronze. And it's just a never-ending cycle for these people. You know, they just love to hate the game.
I'm like, if you're genuinely good at this game, then unlucky, bro, you got patched with me, but you're going to progress further than me, and then you won't see me. You know, and that's when I wind them up saying, bro, don't worry about it. I'll get good. I'm going to, you know, go and win my next few games. You have to see me, bro. I'll be in the higher ranks. You know, of all the bitches in a hot tub. You know, I don't give a fuck. Like flexing up there, and you can be sat here just mouthing off to people. Because a big part of these, a lot of these reasons for good players to lose games is because their mentality's fucking shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're genuinely, like, that was with me with, like, when I used to play, like, sport when I was younger. I was really fucking good at sport, but my mentality was dog shit. And that's what lost it for me. You know, if I could have gone back there and slapped the fuck out of myself and, like, your mentality's shit, sort it out and you'll be a professional, maybe I'll be a professional, you know? But I feel like that's a big part of it. Like, a part of, you can be physically good and genuinely talented, but if your headspace is shit, you're gonna be shit, you know, or you're gonna drag down the team. I've come across a lot of really good players, you know, in sport who are genuinely really good, but they're pricks, and they just drag people down and make things worse, you know. And if they just change that mentality, they probably absolutely smash it. That's why you see people in like I see it in Rocket League sometimes, you know, I watch some Rocket League players and they'll lose and they don't care, you know, they're just like, okay, cool, you know, like they go down, they're like, okay, cool, you know, I'll work on that. Like, that's such a good mentality. How do you get that? I don't understand how you can not just get genuinely angry.
Yeah.
Because I want to win, and I always have to remind myself, you're not that good to get angry.
Oh,
you know?
Bro, as a Rocket League commentator in Oceanic, dude, when I was commentating, there was some toxic people, bro. There was some seriously even towards me, just commentating
Aren't
the
they
game.
just genuinely Australians,
it's
though?
It's almost like, hey, you didn't hype up my pass. My pass was better than the fucking goal, and you didn't say enough during the pass, and they would just rip me a new one on Twitter because I didn't, give them the raps for the pass, and it's like, bro, are you really that desperate and like that angry just for the sake of being angry? Even if they won the game, they'd be upset about the way they were presented or, like spoken about, even if it was like they played really well. It's like, no, we played great. We played, we're number one in Oceanic. That's how they will be like. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, no.
But that might be a good mentality if they big themselves up, like if someone's like, I'm better than what you were saying. If they lost, then I was like, nah, you're just shit, bro. Like, get your high horse, you fuckhead. But if like they're generally pretty good, like they can big themselves up. But a lot of people, like, if they did well and no one commented on it or whatever, like people who were looking for that would know they did well anyways. I think that was a good part of like when I was playing Rocket League, apart from getting through all my controllers, was like I was really enjoying like the non-meta stuff. When I used to get genuinely annoyed when I'd come across someone in my rank who would know how to do certain flicks. And I'm just kind of like, you've watched tutorials, you boring fuck. Just, do what I do. Smash heads on the fucking start and hope it doesn't go in the net. Pinging at corners and shit. And just do, like, I just want, like, a half-assed fight where one of us eventually pops it in the net. I don't want to be there, and this man's, like, air dribbling, spinning, flicking, pops it in my neck saying, easy, because, I'll hunt him down. Yeah, whatever, that flip reset stuff. Like, get fucked. I wanna hit the ball like it's my autistic left foot, and it goes in the fucking net.
You know what's funny? You say that. But if someone's more autistic than you, that's when you smash controllers.
What? Because if I lose to them,
it's almost like they've got to be at the same level of chilled as you, but not better than you, but not worse than you. Otherwise, I don't mind
I don't mind a good shit player. Someone who's like, he's rocket boosting at this ball smashed inside of the net, and it's just done me. But when he starts doing flicks, the worst is when you've got a good player who will do aerial stuff, and then he also does floor shit on you. Like, he'll coax the ball towards you. I'm like, bro, I'm 7-1 down. Don't make me pay 20 quid for a new controller. And then, boom, ball's in the net. I've DC'd. It's my fucking...
The controller's gone through the router in the house.
Controllers... I've literally... Because I rent this place at the moment, I have to pick a certain place for the fucking controller to go. Because I ain't doing damage to the wall as well. So I look at it, and I normally give it the fucking biceps, the old pec squeeze, like, just bang, blows it out.
I still vaguely remember when you smashed the controller in my house, which was the funniest shit.
Oh my god. When I smashed
for people that don't know, people
that was League, wasn't it?
Yeah, Oblivion lived with me, but his desk was like further off to the side here. And I remember one day we were just chilling, just fucking relaxing, and one afternoon we were playing. He was playing Rocket League, and I was playing something else. and I could tell when you
knew it was coming.
You could hear it coming too. It was like you go silent, and then it's like I look over and you just see the ball go in the net, and just nothing happens. Like it's almost like it didn't move. And then you just see your arms just squeeze the button, and then like the joysticks get pushed in together, and then it's just one hand up, and then it's just. And I remember just watching the entire thing just shatter, and I copped a joystick in the face. Like that's how far it came over. And it's been over a year since you've been here, and I still find parts of that controller around my house. Like it went everywhere.
You've got a solid floor. You've got the worst floor for it, which is like pure granite.
Yeah. It's like a basement, so it's like fucking concrete down here, and just bam.
I looked at it and I was kind of like, it's worth. Everything in my head saying, Aussie delivery is like a 7-day wait, don't do it. And I'm kind of like, you know what? Maybe I need 7 days. Boom.
It's a good stress relief, I guess.
You must have done that in CSGO. Like, I've been in CSGO, and I'll be playing, and I'll lose a thing, and I'll say, all right, see you in 7 days, boys, and I leave, and it comes up saying so-and-so's left. They've got a cooldown of 7 days. They know what's up. Yeah, they know what league they're in.
Yeah. I used to, when you were over here, I remember I used to try to avoid laughing at it. because I would see
God, yeah.
because I knew it would piss you off more. So I remember just sitting here. So I have like I have 3 monitors. I have like almost like a full HUD here in front of me of monitors. So like I could vaguely see Brett over the top of one of my monitors. And I remember when you did that controller that day and you smashed it, I remember just leaning forward under the monitor and just trying not to laugh so hard because I thought you would just get up and just bash me. Like dead set, you're at that point of sheer aggression. Like some dude just, scored an OG or something or just bumped you out the way and he just sent it. Yeah, I remember that very, very clearly.
I'm not like a wifey. I'm not just going to like kill rock up and start pummeling you. I think like part of it was also because like you were fucking good at the game as well. So if you were laughing at me, I knew it was because I did something shit.
Would just crack me up.
I was like, oh my God. I had to live there and just be kind of like that because I was,
You're the Sunday League. You're the Sunday League of Rocket League, mate. That's you. That's dead set what you play. The Sunday League of Rocket League. Just the shit. No one gives a shit. 2 footing tackles, That's how it is. That's how it is in Rocket League for you.
All 3 of us will go for the ball at the same time and be like, good goal. We usually when we watch the replays, it's to try and figure out who the fuck it is.
It's almost, when you watch the horse race, like a photo finish with like who actually touched the ball last. It's like, watch the replay and you see who actually got the last touch,
I'm usually like, how did I score that goal? That's why I watch the replays. Like, if the ball goes in the net and my name comes up, I'm like, I need to watch this to see how I put this in the net because I have a fucking clue.
Because I've been driving around for 30 minutes trying to demo with a backliner. That's how you do
it. That's what I used to do the whole time. Oceanic couldn't handle it. Because if you do that in EU, they're used to it because everyone's toxic. Whereas Oceanic, they're like, they don't come across that one demo dude.
There's always when you do 3v3s, there's always that one demo dude, and he's always the shittest one. He's always the shittest one. It's like a tag-in, he just like, we got 2 good players, we couldn't find a third, so we've just given him a game plan of just trying to see how many people get demo in the process while we try and score, try and 2v3 here. Like that's literally all he does, and that's if there was ever going to be a competitive time that you played, you were that guy. You were literally that guy.
That is it. I'm the boot stealer, the demo guy,
stealing everything.
That's what I do. Right. I like flying around. I like flying around the map just trying to munt people. That's genuinely it. Like, I have no kind of like...
But that's what you do. But yeah, that's I mean, that's your version of Rocket League, man. It's funny. It is good. It is dumb, but it is fun. But Rocket League is a great game, man. Rocket League is good fun, man. I think those are the type of games I wouldn't take seriously. I mean, those who obviously do competitive stuff, but obviously getting older now, man, I don't really enjoy tissues out. I don't really enjoy real competitive games. Yeah. I don't really enjoy competitive games myself. I like the relaxed version, which is why I liked WoW when it came out. The nostalgia of just relaxing and playing games with mates, and that's where it's at for me. But yeah,
that's it. It's just the fun of doing it. You know what? Yeah. Something we can talk about. I'm looking at houses, and I just when you went for a shit just then, I was looking at houses over there, compared to the prices here. The fucking houses you can get there is disgusting. Like I'm looking at houses here for 200. Yeah. Not what I don't say your house is disgusting. It's a nice house, But like when I was looking at, I'm looking at what 250,000 for a house here, on a mortgage.
Pounds. Yeah.
Over there, that's. Yes, over there, that's $450,000. You can get so much. So much. There's always a risk of dying to whoever the fuck moves outside there. But you can get so much. And I'm just like, fuck, like, I wish I could just buy a place there.
Townhouses are pretty, like, cheap. You can get, like, townhouses. Anyone know what a townhouse is? It's like a... Townhouses are, like, 1 or 2 bedroom apartments that are usually in, like, an estate. So it's, like an area where a bunch of houses are. And sometimes they can be backed onto other houses. Like they're really close together. not so much like it is in the UK where it's like, you guys have like houses like literally
Houses,
next to each other.
They call them terraced houses. So you have like
Okay.
a house, and they'll go, you know what, house next to it, and they'll go, you know what, we could keep doing this for fucking hundreds. You know,
Yeah.
so we've got 100 of these houses. So literally everyone's just like ear to ear on the walls. You know, and that's kind of just how it is here when you live in cities. Like if you want a big house, you got to live in the countryside, you know, and then you get a little more land. But then it's like it's more expensive. Well, it's not more expensive, but like it's not. You don't get a huge difference because then you're not near anything that's any good. Whereas like you guys have so much space there, you can just expand out.
We have space. I mean, how big is the UK compared to Australia?
Fucking tiny, so tiny. You can get about 700 of us in there. Yeah, it's so small. Because you've got what? Okay, I'm gonna do some things right now. Right,
Yeah,
so
we can have a look. How many?
Australia
much of the
population.
Yeah.
So there's 25.36. 25. Let's just go 25 million boomerangs over there. Yeah.
You can totally tell we wing this whole podcast, by the way. We haven't planned any of this. And we thought that would be a good idea. We thought we would just wing it and just see what we could come up with. And this is the best we've got. So just, you're really, those who are still listening, you're really in for great content.
There's about 3 times more of us here, yeah? Whereas, like, I'm going to go England. Actually, let's just go whole UK. UK into Australia. Let's have a look. Fucking, how many? How many times Australia? So we'd fit. You're 32 times bigger than us, and you're a third population. Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking.
I fucking did not. I've
small.
never been to the UK, but I did not think it was. You could fit the UK 30. How many? 32 times.
Oh my god! It says you can fit the whole of Europe in there. Wait, what? You literally can fit the whole of Europe in there. I'm not even shitting you. I'm sending you this picture
There's
right
no
now.
way.
I'm just gonna put you in there.
There's no way.
Literally.
I can't see it.
So
I can't see it. I can't see it, but yeah.
So you got, basically it goes all the way from UK down to Spain, all the way across to Bulgaria and Romania. Like, there's about 10 different countries in that picture just there.
I've always thought, like, I mean, living in Australia, I've always thought like Australia was like the smallest place in the world. You know?
Australia?
Well, I mean, I don't travel much, man. I've only been to Thailand. I just see the map. I just see a map. I feel like, as far as I know, the Earth could be flat.
Yeah,
you know?
That's why you guys have so much space. Like, we don't have a lot of space, and we have a massive population, but it's kind of like why housing here is so expensive. Because it's kind of like, holy fuck, like, we just can't
contain everyone.
We just got to stop breeding. It's crazy. It's mad over here. So for me to find this place I found the other day, which is like a detached place, it's basically just an apartment, but it's an attached place with a thingy. It's fucking sick. But I was looking at places for out there. It'd be beautiful. Like my place here, I reckon out there would probably cost about $150,000, whereas here it's going to cost me $450,000.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because like the comparison is that we don't have much space. So space is worth a lot of money here.
Yeah.
You can do a lot with it. Whereas out there, you're just kind of like, you want 20 acres of land? Sure. Don't know what you want that for. That's tiny. You know. Like, what do you want?
You can only hold like 3 kangaroos, bro. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like, what's that? Yeah. There's a big ass kangaroos they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. But I can't wait for that because then I can actually start doing like proper videos again and being like loud as fuck and whatever.
That's
like,
cool.
One of my like biggest like wants to do is probably get into live streaming and do it through like at night time and stuff with no issues of people, and having this place would be sick because like I live above my garage and then there's no one else detached from me, so I could do whatever the hell I want. Whereas in here, I've got people living beneath.
If that's the case, I'll get up early and I'll stream with you. I'll come back to streaming if you go back to streaming.
Don't hold it to me because it did take us 45 days to do another podcast, didn't it?
Which is why I said I will do it with you because it's not.
Was it longer than that though? It was longer than that actually because we recorded it. It took us 2 weeks to get it up.
Yeah. Look, we're not exactly as much as we pump out content. We're the slowest people on the planet, but we're getting there. And you guys are still sticking around, which we greatly appreciate. I mean, we just do this for fun. Like I said, we're not chads. We just love to have a laugh and find like-minded people, which is why we don't read the comment section. We like the comments when people say, you guys are back, or love the trap bass and had a good laugh. Like that's the shit that we want to do. We don't care that people said, you're no good with a gun, or none of that stuff. We don't give a shit about that. It doesn't bother us.
I
So
don't read comments anymore, man. I don't read comments.
I go through them.
I saw a thing the other day. Someone said the other day to follow certain people on Instagram who build you up.
Yeah.
Like who bring a positive light to your situation. And I do that now. If there's someone who I'm kind of like, you know what, you're not bringing me anything good, I just pop them out. It's fine. I think that's totally fine. It's never an insult. It's just, that's how it is. And it's a South African dude, bodybuilder. Everyone's kind of known of him. He's very recent.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, but no, he's a good guy. This is a good guy, But he goes, there's so many negative comments of people being like, cringe. And it's so true, because this was before I even saw that video. I can't read Instagram. I watch like Instagram Reels is kind of like TikTok, like you flick through it. But because the TikTok thing's around and there's a lot of like younger people getting involved, there's such like a weird cringe fantasy. Not a cringe fantasy, but like a cringe, what's like the word? A cringe community, I guess you could call it that. Like people just go, this is cringe and stuff. And like, I genuinely see someone on these reels who are just having fun or making, crap, funny, scripted content, but like old school YouTube kind of style. People are like, cringe, definitely scripted, stuff like that. Like, why care? Like, I just like, ugh. It's hard to read the comments sometimes, because I'm like, I genuinely thought that was quite funny. And then people in the comments will just be like, cringe. I'm like,
I mean, we've always said about like the YouTube comment section about what type of people the YouTube comment section are. And I mean, there's a variety of people, but I would never go to someone and literally type out, "This is cringe."
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I would deter someone from doing something. Like if someone's being a nonce, I was like, yeah, bro, stop being a nonce. But like, if it's just someone trying to have fun or whatever, it's like, why roast them and trying to have fun, They're like, we'll make a funny video and do that. Like, let the world decide, not comment section. Like, let the likes and dislikes decide whether it was a funny video or whatever.
Yeah, I believe that.
Like if it's a video I don't like, I don't dislike it unless it's like, either in super poor taste, like someone being killed, like fuck, that's getting a dislike, But if it's just like
at least
shit content,
I might even type in the comment section RIP. You know what I mean?
Just F's.
But just F's in the chat.
Just F's. But if it's just something that's like someone trying to have fun or whatever, and I was like, okay, just do it. I've been trying to do that for a good while now, over the last 2 years. Is if someone's doing something that I genuinely don't like, I don't care. Like if it's something that, like for my brother, he loves anime, and I'm not a massively fan of it. I don't mind it, I know that you've got your cracking tattoos for it, but I don't mind it, But I'm not gonna be one of those people that's like, stop doing it, it's cringe. I'm like, if you enjoy it, like you enjoy it,
Love my
and I think you should. Yeah, like I love that you've got, I love that you have a passion for something like that. I love that my brother has a passion for something like that, because something you love and something I love, we could both go, we don't like it, but it's not something it's not harming to anyone. It's something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's something that someone enjoys. Like if someone wanted like, I love crushing snails, I'm like, yeah, you're just a weird cunt. Whereas like if they're like, I like colouring in, I'm like, then just colour in, like, I don't care.
I'd be like, you're also a weird cunt, but you're cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And like if you enjoy that stuff, you go for it, because I think it's great.
I always find bird watchers the weirdest cunts. Like there's something about a bird watcher that just like is cringe. I don't know, man. I swear it is the most cringiest shit to see a bird watcher with like fucking binoculars and shit sitting there with like a fucking book like that. I mean, each to their own, eh? Hey, each to their own. But fucking hell, it was like the cringiest shit.
You've watched Attenborough, though, haven't you? And he's technically the world's biggest bird watcher. I do think there are some things where I kind of go, why would you bother doing that? Like.
I bet you at one point David Attenborough goes, I bet you David Attenborough at one point goes, fuck, this is cringe. This is actually cringe. I reckon there's probably at one point in his life he's going, fucking hell, this is cringe.
If you use the word cringe?
I doubt it. But I would just be funny as if he did, Sits there and everyone's just like, Dave, you're staring at the ass of a bird. This is this is weird, bro.
This is a whole nother level of low, Dave. What are you doing, mate?
20 years of experience, and this is what you've become.
Do you reckon he's ever sat there with his binoculars? He's been watching something like a hippo that's just sleeping. He's just turned to his like producers like, "This is fucking boring, isn't it?"
Do you imagine the amount of footage that would just go unused, eh? Like, there must be so much footage. Like, just staring at a fucking rhino sleeping for 6 hours going, he'll get up and do something. He'll get up and do something.
Come on.
And we'll just camp it out with your fucking binoculars and shit. Sit there and watch him,
Yeah.
I would love... What's that?
I find it weird when you see younger people doing older people things. I don't find it weird the other way, but I also do find that people do find it weird the other way. Like, say, for example, you see, like, an old bloke trying to skateboard. The only reason I get concerned about that is if he fucking goes over, that could be the end. You know?
I think the only person, like, when it comes to people being of, like, an older age, of people doing those kind of sports, the only person I don't see cringe about it is Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
He's
stopped now, has he?
I watch that dude get on a skateboard and be like, he's fine. You know what I mean? He could be 80, 90 years old. He's fine. You know? Let him go down half pipes, bro. He's fine. You know? But I mean, the one time that he falls off, everyone will be like, we fucking probably should have stopped him.
Yeah, fuck. He's a legend, and he's really good at what he does. But, you know...
There's that one time now where he just doesn't go down the right way and just fucking face plants, you know? I hope that doesn't happen.
It's incredible how he's still going.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's still going. Imagine, like, if Tony Hawk could have stayed 21 the whole of his life, you know? Like, example, like, his body's always 21. Imagine, like, how much he would progress in sport. Because he's still doing, like, was it? I don't know what the fucking rotation is of it, but, like, 540s. Yeah, that'll be it. So he's doing, like, 540s still, you know? And you're just kind of, like, at 50 years old doing, like, 540s. It's like, that's nutty. Because you're able to do that. If you were 21, then you'd just be like, right, I could just dial this down because I've got so many years experience.
Okay,
like,
he's on 540s. I'd be fucking happy for a 90-degree angle. Like, fuck's sake.
I wouldn't be happy at 90 degrees. I'd fucking eat it, wouldn't you? Let's just turn your board sideways and land on straight side wheels. You ain't rolling away from that.
Me just jumping up off the skateboard and landing back on at 2 feet is a fucking achievement for me, bro. That's as far as I go.
It is crazy seeing that stuff. But, I going back to it, I think it's... For me, I just allow people to do their things, you know. I don't like shoot people down. I really don't like to shoot people down because if I'm shooting someone down, it's normally because it's an insecurity of mine, you know. I like to try and build people up, but like my brother, like he'll do things. I'm just kind of like, you know what, like you do it, you know, you enjoy it, you do it, you know. I'm not gonna hit him down for it because everyone will love and hate something that someone else does. That's why like YouTube comments don't mean anything to me because. Someone told me this is the worst video they ever saw and they want to off themselves to someone saying this cured them from like depression. I'm like, you know what? Like both work for me. You know, well, don't off yourself if it's that bad. Jesus, like there's other things to get weird about.
Yeah,
but
in the chat.
Another F in the chat for the person who's done themselves over my shitty trap base. But you know, I think people just need to.
Oh mate,
people just need to chill the fuck out and let people do their own things. You know, that's why I don't tend to go on Twitter too much because everyone's got opinions. You know, too many opinions.
The amount of times you've unfollowed me and refollowed me, I've fucking lost count.
You haven't done anything wrong though. I just go on Twitter and Twitter puts me in the wrong headspace because I go on there and I see people are always like. Okay, I won't try and go too much into it. People are like, rights for this, rights for that. Everyone, you know, should be supporting these people, supporting those people.
Yeah.
But these people who are like, you know, you should support these, support that, blah, blah. They're the same people who will shoot down someone else for something they do that they don't like. And usually something like cringy to get weird over, you know? Yeah. Like, say, for example, they might be like, you play video games all day. That's so fucking weird. You know, it's like, yeah, but, you know, you love sucking dick. Like, they're not the same thing, but at the same time, like, they're two different things that you can love or hate, you know? And I don't care for either because I can choose to do one or the other, or none. I can go and do something else, you know? Unless it's something I'm forced into having to do, I don't give a fuck about it, you know? Like, I'm annoyed that I have to sit in isolation. I think that's fucking annoying. But, like, I'm not annoyed. Yeah. But yeah, the income's all right recently. The income's been all right. So no more noshing knob. But I think there's a weird kind of like, almost like an ignorance to people being like, you should be liking this and not liking that. You know, like people being like, we should be really supportive of these people. But then at the same time, they'll shoot someone else down for something super minimalistic. And you're like, how can you be like that? Like, you need to think about that stuff. So yeah, Twitter's horrible. Twitter is horrible because it's so many opinions that I used to put opinions on there because I think I was getting too involved in Twitter, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. Like, who cares? No one cares if I want to rant. No one gives a fuck. They just want to see a giveaway.
Yeah.
That's all they care about.
I was watching it. I remember someone messaged me, was like, I used to have like, I've lost a lot of Twitter followers because I haven't used it in like ages. So I was like permanently streaming. I very rarely use it. Sometimes I put out, like recently I put out about trying to find thumbnail artists and stuff for all the new content that we're going to be pumping out. But like, that's all I use it for. Like, I don't use it for anything else. And people sitting there going, oh, you're losing followers, you know, you're pretty much losing, you know, relevance.
I hate that, isn't it? And usually those people who talk about relevancy don't matter.
Yeah, relevancy,
anyways.
yeah. And I'm like, and I sit there and I'm like, to be honest, if I wanted to be relevant, I wouldn't be not posting a tweet in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't bother me, you know? So,
which is...
Yeah, I've got other things to worry about, which is why when we decided to even like upload that old video of mine, it was like, at first, when I thought about it, I was like, no, you can't re-upload old videos. They can't do that. And then I was like, you know what? You fucking probably could. You know?
Yeah, there's also 8 billion people in the world and 5,000 people saw that the first time it came out.
Yeah.
You know, that's a smidgen. You know, that's such a touch. Like, I've got videos right now that will bang off. But like you say, like this is what it comes down to is I always see it as a jealousy thing. I don't think there'll be millionaires telling people you're not going to become a millionaire. I think there'll be more millionaires telling people you're going to become a millionaire. You know, like I see those videos where it's like, oh, homeless guy goes into Lamborghini shop and everyone's kind of like, oh, they're going to usher him out. And it's like, only in Disney, you bitch. The bloke inside there's going to be like, oh, well, obviously you can't buy it, but like, you know, give yourself the opportunity and you possibly, you know, you could be back here. Yeah. You know, there's never going to be a person in customer service who's like, oh, you're not good enough for this place. You know, there will be the odd person, but usually those people are in the highest places anyways. You know, they're never going to get someone who's super professional in a lower end position. You're going to get someone who's like, doesn't give a fuck about what they're doing, doesn't know what they're doing. They're not going to be in a Lamborghini shop, are they? Working. They want people in there who are going to build people up. Like, millionaires surround themselves with millionaires because they've all got a positive, improving attitude. Not because they hate things. You know, if anything, they hate just not being successful or not being with the right people. Yeah. But, you know, like we say, the comment section is a horrible place, and it's just it's usually a load of nobodies chatting shit. You know, the people who normally give me the shits are people who don't even know how to put a profile picture up. Like, I'm like, I don't care, you know. I normally go, oh, okay, like, just see ya. Like, and why do I care about your opinion when you've got no backing? You know, there's no support there. Like, there are people who used to make, when I used to do gym videos and stuff, some people are like, oh, like, you should talk to this, you should watch this guy because he's really good knowledge on abs. I'm like, where's his abs? Where's this man's abs? You know, the ab god has no abs. Like, I don't want to watch someone who has got no, like, what is it? Like, no evidence of their knowledge.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Like, I will give people gym knowledge because I go to the gym and I look good because I go to the gym and know what I'm doing, you know? But I'm not going to tell you how to fly a plane. I could probably know how to fly a plane. But fuck, I'm not going to tell you how to fly a plane. Yeah. Like, don't take my guide on how to fly planes because you'll fucking die. And it'll be a disaster for everyone. I could do it verbally, as long as you don't record it, because then I'll get away with it. Just be like, nah, just chatting shit. But you'd be dead anyway, so you wouldn't even know.
That's right, yeah. I think, yeah. It is a crazy time. It is. It's
you know, I think the whole like global situation has affected people's mentality, but at the same time, we're coming out of it. We're looking good. I got stabbed in the arm. I put a picture up where I had 3 arms. It wasn't real. I've only got 2. Yeah. Someone was like, "You get banned off Instagram." I said, "Bro, no one's that dumb on Instagram." I was like, "But actually, they are."
Now that you mentioned it, it could actually be true. Yeah.
I was wondering whether they should have made they're saying the propaganda, it was like making 5G and stuff like more accessible and stuff. It was like, oh, it's for telecoms and whatever. Like, one, I think that's the most dumb fuck thing in the world. You've got to be some level of chromosomic, like, mental to think that's true. And at the same time, why don't we start the propaganda that it gave you a massive dick? Because then people will be taking it, won't they? They'll be like, Oh my god!
Because then you'd have their girlfriends. Then you'd have their girlfriends like back and like
jabbing them up.
Yeah. Jabbing it straight in there. Bastards. Just jabbing it straight in there.
Straight in the knob.
Yeah.
I think we should have done that propaganda. I was going to put a tweet out the other day saying, "Oh yeah, like just got my vaccine. None of this 5G shit, but fuck, I've got a massive knob and a bed full of bitches. Like, this is fucking horrid, boys. Just, just how it is. But yeah, 5G, not
would only recommend one signal. Dose, not the two. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck, I've been trying to post this for 7 days, but I've got no signal at all. Fuck this 5G shit. I think that should have been the case. That would have been great. We'd have had a huge uptake then.
Yeah, for sure.
And just really disappointing sex afterwards because everyone's like, well, I've got no big knob. And I've also got no improved data. Fucking shit.
This podcast, man, honestly. I love it. It's good. It's always fun to just chat shit. I mean, that's what we want to produce, man. I'm glad that we're back. I'm glad that we're making content again and we're laughing about it. And I know a lot of people enjoy that side of us, man, and we'll continue doing it. And I was saying to Brett that we will definitely be trying to do more of this. So it's good fun. It is good.
I think we should just do it because obviously it's the two of us, so we do have to kind of go off the back of like whatever we're doing throughout the days, which usually for me is just like going out and adventuring. But I think it's good as long as you stick to a routine. But the routine's always hard to do because we're both on this fucking 4 to 5 hour time slot, of what we can do. Like it's dark where you are right now, and I'm burning.
Yeah. It's getting on the way to midnight, but yeah, it's. But I do recommend if those. By the time this video will come out before the video is going to come out of our video. So for those who are listening, get ready to watch it, or if you've watched it after it's been released already a day, then you can go and watch it. The videos that we're uploading together. So it should be on Oblivion's channel and also my channel. We decided to do a double-sided video with a bit of fun.
Yeah, I think it'll work. I think it'll look really good. There was always a whole kind of thing that you couldn't upload two of the same image, but who cares, I think if anything, we need to build the Rust community up that we can do that. Like people can upload the same stuff because sure, you might watch it on some persons, but you might go and watch it on the others as well. It's two different it's two different sides in edited certain ways,
Yeah, different ways of editing. I mean, I know a few other content creators have done that before. I know that Simpy and Mimeo do that with a lot of their scary games. They play games together. They record both their side of it, their own interactions, and what they see at certain interactions. And I think that's great. I mean, the stuff that we did, it definitely needed two different visuals, I think, because it was a lot of fun. There was, so I'm looking forward to seeing how you edit the video compared to how I edit the video, and I think people watching will be interested to see the different sides of and what gets edited in and what doesn't get edited in. So
yeah, it'll be sick. It'll be really good.
It'll be really good.
Right, I think that's up on an hour. We've nailed it.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Smashed out.
Wrap it up. So if you guys are still listening, make sure to check out the socials as well. At TheBigGeee, at Oblivion, and of course the DownUnder podcast on Twitter. And obviously YouTube as well, and Spotify for any previous episodes as well. So take care of yourselves, guys, and we'll be back for episode 13.
Cheers, boys. Have a good one.
Before the month's out.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, before the month's. Bye. It can't be like in 4 days' time.